From Chicago streets to the courts beat, South Scott Dan on the podcast seat. Bulls breaking news, talking stats and views. Every player, every play, we never lose. Horns over hoops, we're the Bulls troop. From game analysis to fan scoop.
What's good, Bulls fans and Horniacs, and welcome back to a little show that we like to call the Horns Over Hoops podcast live. We are your hosts for the evening, Sailbass Scott Berman and Dan Gracie. But ladies and gentlemen, we have another guest with us today. We have our honorary co-host, our favorite guest in the world, the man, the myth, the legend, all the way from the Let's Talk Bulls podcast. We got Q in the house. Q, show some love, buddy.
Hello. Thank you for having me on as usual. And I gotta say, I'm loving what you guys are doing. I'm loving the intro. I'm loving the merch. I'm gonna have to pick me up a hat.
Yeah,
yes, sir.
Really? Yeah. We just updated our store. I just bought our Christmas sweater, so I can't wait to wear that. That one's pretty cool.
Yeah, I just went to the site today, and good job, Sal.
Yeah,
good job.
Yeah, I try
putting that work in.
I got nothing else to do. I get 2 days off, so it's like I might as well just sit at my computer and do stuff.
I mean, I sent it to a coworker, and like I went to the site, and I was like, "Oh my god! Like there's shorts on here now, and like little video clips.
We got it all. Chat, show some love for Q in the chat. What do you say? What up, Rob?
Whatever.
So Q, you know why you're here. We're here to talk about our favorite team in the world, the team that raises our blood pressure sky high, the team that we say sucks one day and then they blow a team out the next day and we say they're the best team in the world. That's, of course, our Chicago Bulls. Did you watch the game last night?
Yeah, unfortunately. Unfortunately, yes. Most of it I saw. There were little spurts where I didn't see it because I was either, cooking or doing something where I had to miss like a couple plays. But I mean, it went exactly how I expected. The Bulls went down by a lot, like they do every time. They fought their way up to make sure that we didn't turn off the game, and then they lost it at the end. So same every game.
Yeah. And honestly, like that final score, we lost by 16, but like a lot of those 16 points came in like the last 3 minutes, because at one point we were down by like 6-7 late in the game, and for whatever reason we stopped guarding the perimeter and they just started pouring in threes. So what do you guys think? Did you the other two, did Dan, Scott, did you watch it?
Scott, go ahead.
I had it on and then I turned on the Illinois game, and then Illinois was down by 20 points to Alabama. So I turned back on the Bulls game, and then they were down 20 points by the Bucks. So all around, just bad basketball. But I saw Giannis be unstoppable. That's basically what it was.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
I actually got the privilege of going to the game yesterday, thanks to big shout out Dan Gracie. Dan Gracie's dad, season ticket holder, hooked us up with some good tickets, 5 rows up from the court, and you hear everything. So Q, was this a typical display of the Bulls, or was this just what I mean?
Yeah. This showed everything that we know about the Bulls. Mm-hmm. Kobe struggled a little bit. It was up to Zach to do everything for the team. If he doesn't, we can't win. I mean, the only thing we really missed this game was Pat missing a dunk. I mean, that's really what most of the game is. But I mean, the Bulls are the Bulls. They play the same way. They have the same flaws. Every game, the flaws show over and over again, and we don't fix them. It's a rotating schedule of Billy Donovan just being incompetent, and we have to kind of hope and dream. And then they're always going to do just enough to make us believe that they can do something next year. So we buy season tickets.
Dude, look, what is with his rotations, man? I'm telling you.
I think he switches players whenever he's done chewing a piece of gum.
Yeah.
That's my idea.
That checks out.
Flavor's gone. New player. Yeah. Funny stat about Pat. Like I actually saw this the other day. I don't know where I was when I saw this, but he's shooting he's shooting like 39% from 3, but his dunking percentage is 28%. Like how is this man going to make more shots from further away than up personal? So
and he misses 2-hand dunks.
Yeah. 2 hands for safety. Did you think that? Okay, what did you think of Torrey yesterday? Because Torrey stepped it up. I mean, we're talking about a man who barely played minutes now going into a starting role. What do you think of him?
I think Torrey's a vet. Like, he knows what to do. He knows what he's supposed to do on this team.
Mm-hmm.
He does what Patrick was supposed to do. He doesn't try to be a superstar. He comes in, he gets an open shot, he takes it. If it goes in, it goes in. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But that doesn't affect his confidence. It doesn't make him think he needs to not do it the next time. He's not trying to force something. He just plays the game the way it's supposed to be. Similar to how Alex Caruso did. You see it in people who really have a high IQ and just those people who know they're not supposed to be superstars. They just play the game. You go out there and you do the best you can do when you have an opportunity, and there's no expectation for you to do more. So I think he did great. I saw some people talking about like being angry that Torrey was taking the spot over, Julian Phillips or Modest. But in a situation like this against the Bucks, I can see him being the one you pick to be the starter. I mean, you just want someone who's going to fit in, let the starters do what they do, and just plays their role.
Yep.
Yeah.
And honestly, like looking back on it, would Pat have done that much better of a job guarding Giannis?
Surprisingly, no.
Yeah. Exactly. So I looked at, I mean, you guys could probably, jump in if I'm wrong. I looked at the stat sheet and I saw Torrey Craig, 10 points, a few rebounds, a few assists. And I'm like, that's exactly what Pat would have done if he was playing.
Yeah.
Like,
that sounds like Pat stats.
Yeah. I'm like, so he never left the court is what you're saying. But overall, like one thing that's kind of been scratching my head, and again, guys, jump in whenever you're ready. The lack of seeing Josh Giddey down the clutch. I mean, here's a man who's fighting for basically a contract, and we're not seeing him anywhere in clutch minutes. So, what's your take on Giddey?
I totally get why Billy does that, because it's a defensive liability. Like Giddey just isn't good. Like the more I've seen of him, the more I'm just like, I don't think this was the right move of, the whole trade. I don't think that was the right move, or the move that the front office thought it was.
Yeah.
Just
Scott.
Because
he's a defensive liability. Would you rather have Io, who's always going to try on defense, and he can score and shoot? Giddey can't shoot. He can get rebounds and assists. Yeah, but I would rather – the Bulls aren't blowing people out, so why would you have someone that can't play defense or is just going to get fouled or get beat on a pick and roll or switch?
Yeah.
So that's why they're taking him out, but that's an issue. I think at some point, I think he's going to get benched and Io is going to be starting.
Oh,
I mean, I would like that.
I mean, I hope he does at this point, and then that could change. But right now, it's sad to see what we got, especially, and it might be worse coming off of last night because Alex Caruso had 17 points, and that hurts every time. But you can see the difference. Like, we lost that trade until Giddey plays like an all-star. OKC got exactly what they wanted.
Yep.
They got a defender. You see clips of him every game. Their fans love him. He's giving 100%. The team looks great. And then you have us. And Giddey has some good stats. Cool. He has a good line. But he's breaking our defense down. He doesn't know how to guard people. People are leaving him wide open. He's hesitating to shoot open shots. Like, you can clearly see why OKC didn't want to keep him. And it's one of those things where it's not because of what he can be. He has great talent. It's that he's not showing his talent. He's doing the same thing Pat's doing. We're not getting what we're supposed to get out of you. And that's just, it's disappointing, honestly. So, I mean, I give props to Billy for not playing him in the stretch. Be a good coach. If you're not doing your job, get off the court. That's just as simple as that. You just can't play.
Yeah. I mean, nicely put. I mean, if you're not doing your job, you get off the court and give the minutes to the people who want to be there. Because I'll say it, like, I think from top to bottom, I think one of the only players who has shown, integrity and just drive and energy night in and night out from the start of the season has been Ayo Dosunmu. The man has not regressed at all. I mean, he gives 110 every night. I mean, and now he's added the dunk to his game, but he's been dunking a lot this year. So I would much rather see him get more minutes than to have a defensive liability out there. But I mean, again, yes, I'll give it to him. Like, yes, he's still a young kid. He's new to our system, but at the same time, you don't have to have a system in play to pass up an open shot. You know what I mean? You should know that if you're open, you take that shot.
Yeah.
But another person stepping it up, and I noticed he's quickly changing the hearts of a lot of Chicago fans, and that's Vucevic. Fellas, what do you think of Vucevic's
Big
Vooch's development of a 3-point shot now?
I think he always had it. I just think that he had to start like in the post and then work his way out, from the inside out. I think that was the problem. Before he was just doing pick and pops from the 3, and it was just not falling for him. And he just kept doing it and doing it and doing it. And you're just like, this is why your 3-point percentage is in like the low 30s.
Mm-hmm.
Now he's starting, in the post and working his way out to the 3-point line, and they're falling.
Yeah.
He's getting his rhythm and everything.
Yeah.
So he's playing better basketball. He's playing the same kind of basketball that he did in Orlando.
Yeah. Yeah. Q, what do you got on that? We lost Scott for a minute, ladies and gentlemen.
It happens.
Scott heard us talking about Vooch and he got pissed and left. He's like, I got no time for this.
Yeah.
As far as Vooch, I mean, this is the Vooch that he can be if teams look for him. And that's the thing. He's starting to get to a point where the team is giving him the ball. There's no DeMar. So if there is a situation where you're running into 5 seconds on the shot clock, who do we give it to? It's got to be Zach or it's got to be Vooch.
Mm-hmm.
But he's really made an effort to sit in the paint this year. And the Bulls are finding him on mismatches, and that's been the issue for the last 2 years.
Yeah.
He'll have a mismatch, he'll have a point guard, and we just don't pass him the ball. So I think that's something that's changed. He also said that he's trying to not rush his shot. And I think that comes with them not passing the ball in the post. When all you're doing is shooting threes, teams like, yeah, we just guard you for the 3. You're not going to get the ball anywhere else. So giving him the time to take a second, shoot, to think, the confidence, it all goes together. But I think the Bulls' young players are finally looking at Vooch like he is a star of this team and not just one of those, fourth members. Like you had the big 3, it was Lonzo, Zach, DeMar, and then we had Vooch. And now Vooch is one of the main keys to the team.
Yep. Yeah, exactly that. I mean, and Rob right here puts it well. Vooch is shooting 46.5 from 3. I mean, yeah, exactly. Yeah. Great start to the season. I mean,
yeah,
he went from our worst 3-point shooting player to our probably our best 3-point shooter this year. I mean, I can't think of any other player who's more accurate than him. I mean, I'm sure, actually, yeah, I'm sure Zach is probably and Kobe giving him a run for it, but they take more shots. But I'm with you. Like last year, he looked like he was looking for his 3-point shot a lot more. And this year he's more posting up. Like I've seen him do those. I don't know what it's called, but you do the fake and turnaround. His footwork, I've said it all season long. His footwork down low is highly underrated. I don't think he gets enough credit for his footwork down low. My only gripe with Vooch is the man just needs to learn how to squeeze the ball and like make an effort to grab some boards, dude. You're almost 7 feet. You shouldn't be getting out rebounded by little guys. I saw Dame last night reach up and grab a rebound over Vooch. I'm like, are you kidding me? Let me see. Scott, what do you got on Vooch?
Yeah, he's stepping up, and he's not afraid to take the 3, which is fantastic. But like you said, he needs to learn how to rebound. I expect him to be getting 15 rebounds a game because no one else is as tall as him on our team, especially. And he had 6 yesterday. That's kind of embarrassing for a center.
Real bad. Yeah.
Especially in like nowadays, the rebound category is kind of skewed because like back in the day, we weren't shooting as much as we were now. So if people were grabbing, 13, 14 rebounds, that was a big night for them. Now, I mean, with as many shots that are going up, that's more opportunities for misses. That's more opportunities for a rebound. And
Mhm.
so to see a almost 7-footer walk away with only 6 rebounds, I think that's a little unacceptable. But
I mean,
do you think this, here's the question I've been having. Do you think this elevated level of play is because he's playing for something, or do you think he just turned it around, Q?
I think he just turned it. I think he just turned it around. I think the team is actually using him.
Okay.
And you can see him and Kobe have this similar thing, just with different issues. So, like, if Kobe's not playing well, he misses a couple of shots, he disengages from the game completely.
Mm-hmm.
If the Bulls don't find Vooch on a couple mismatches and he sees that they're actively not looking for him, he kind of just loses it. He just doesn't want to play anymore.
Yeah.
You can see it. He acts like a different player. He doesn't put a lot of effort in. And I think you can't really blame him. Like, imagine if you're a center when he was a couple years ago. Imagine getting 12 rebounds. You've hit the last 6 shots. You get a point guard on you in the post, and they don't pass you the ball.
Exactly.
It's like, well, you know what? Fine, whatever, fine. I don't need to be on the team anyway if no one wants me here. So I think it's more of just him having some confidence, the team having confidence in him, and him feeling like they actually believe he is a go-to person on this team to score. And that can do a lot for your, like, just your confidence and your ego. Like, to know that, yeah, you guys are looking at me to do this. I'm a leader. It's somebody who can actually do that stuff. But I mean, he's also probably planned for, seeing if maybe in the next couple of years he can get that one last decent contract.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he showed that his game is something that can continue to be the same. It's not a lot of athleticism, so he just has to play and hope that he can make some extra money.
Yeah. He like you said, his game isn't really built on flash. I mean, he's just a good, I don't want to say fundamental player, because I would think fundamental centers would grab a rebound or two here and there. But yeah, the guy's just got no flash, no BS. He goes out there, he gives it all. And people got to understand, like, at any point, Vooch is always going to be your third or best option to score. He's always going to be one of our tops to score. I mean, I would like to think he's maybe playing for a contract, because, like you said, he's getting up there in age. He knows that if he puts up numbers like he did last year, not going to be a lot of teams ringing his phone to get a deal going. So, who knows? Maybe he's playing for a trade this year. Who knows?
Yeah, I think it's a combination of the two.
Yeah, but
either contract or ring.
Contract or ring. Well, he ain't getting any rings here. I mean,
I know that, but, like, I mean, I feel like the center market is not, like, the best. Like, you have, like, your top tier guys, and then you have everyone else. Yeah. So, and I feel like Vooch is probably somewhere in between, because he's a great center, but he's not, like, top tier.
No,
he's not up there with, like, them Embiids or Bams.
You finally giving Embiid some flowers?
I take
when
that
he's
back.
not on the ground flopping.
Yeah, when he plays.
Yeah, when he actually plays.
Yeah. Moving on to we covered Giddey, we covered Vooch. Zach LaVine. This is one of the times where last year around this time we were all kind of just hoping he'd be out and he'd be, we set him off to the pasture, and we just accept that it was a fail. But this year he's kind of been turning around. So Q, do you think that this team could successfully, I don't want to say build, but operate under a leadership of a Zach LaVine, or do you think that just cut ties and see what you get for him?
I have to sadly say no. You gotta, like, and I think actually we talked about that last time I was on. I think Zach is a number 2. He's that Klay Thompson, and he's been playing like that. I said last time, if he can come off the screens, if he can accept being a Klay Thompson type of role where you're not trying to be the star every second, but you hit in spurts, he would do great, and that's what he's doing. But that's not something you keep long term. Right now, Zach said he didn't want to be here. That's out there. Everyone knows it. He's not going to be your number 1. He's not going to be your star going through the future. It's going to be hard for him to go from you are the Chicago Bulls to we need you to step back and be number 2 or number 3. So I think you got to let him go somewhere else, just like you did with Caruso, just like you did with Jimmy Butler. If you can't build around him, if you can't make him your superstar, you got to let him go somewhere else where he has a chance of doing that.
Yeah. and do it quick, because like a lot the Bulls have a bad habit
Oh
of
my God.
hanging on to, I don't want to say
Shoot.
damaged goods, but hanging on to people too long. Like the more and more disgruntled you make him, it's just going to be his trade value is going to go through the floor. I mean, nobody's going to be calling you because they know they can just give you anything and you'll accept the trade. You know what I mean? Again, at this point, we've reached
That's
the
how
level
I ended up with. That's how I ended up with Giddy, because they held on to Caruso way too long.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we went from, correct me if I'm wrong, guys. We went from allegedly 2 first-round picks for him to just Giddy straight up. Which,
yeah,
I mean, I don't know how that happens. But fellas, you two, what do you think of
bad management?
Yeah, bad management on our end, not on Sam Presti's end. He knows what he's doing. Like,
okay.
Yeah.
AK has. I honestly feel like the front office has no idea what they're doing.
I'm glad you mentioned that, because that was actually my next question for you guys. How confident are you guys in AK's ability to make moves? Do you see him as more of a guy that makes moves for right now, or do you see him, he's always making moves for the future?
Well, when he got here, it was the whole like, all right, we're going full in, we're going win now mode, and they just kind of grabbed stars from different teams and tried to make it work, and it didn't work. And now we're just rehashing that with different players. Like, they just keep thinking like, oh, we'll just put duct tape over this and everything will be fine. In reality, like, no, you fucking idiot. Like, that's not how this works. You have to to have a direction, have an identity, choose something. Are we either gonna go all in, or are we going for this youth movement?
Yeah.
That's why I can't wait for us to trade Zach, and I hope that we get some young players. Like, it doesn't even have to be a star anymore. I don't care. Just give us some young talent so we can reboot this rebuild.
Yeah. I see that. Q?
I feel like this team is really just in a middle ground. I trust AK can build a team. We've seen him do that before. I think the issue with AK is he doesn't know how to let go when things go wrong. And that's the burning question is, does he know when to just give all his chips in? Like, I agree with Dan as far as I think he needs to let Zach go. He needs to let Vooch go. And we need to get some young players. But I don't agree that the team just is stuck with these players. I think what's happening with this team is similar to what happened with the Spurs, where they're trying to find a superstar to build around. I think AK at this point tried to do we're putting everyone together. That didn't work. Building a big three didn't work. Now it's let's find that Jokic. Let's find that Wemby. Let's find that one player and then save my job and be like, hey, I found the player. Give me 4 or 5 years to build around this player now. And we're just in a weird place. I think that's why we keep seeing them get the same type of player in the draft. It's a lengthy wing that can have some offensive upside, that plays defense. They want that all-rounded superstar, that Shea, that Anthony Edwards. They want a player to say that he does everything and we can build something around it. It just comes down to, do you trust that he can draft well?
Yeah, jeez.
Or are we going after the right piece? Maybe we don't need a forward. Maybe we need a star point guard or a star center. I think we're heavily focused on we need a star forward that can play the 2 and the 3. That's going to be our shining knight, and that might just be an issue.
Yeah. As soon as you said San Antonio Spurs, I knew where you're going with that, because exactly that. San Antonio Spurs went from what the heck is one of the most coveted teams in the NBA, and the San Antonio Spurs, were one of the worst teams in the league in the West last year. And now with the addition of Wemby, with the addition of Chris Paul, they drafted Steven Castle. That team is set up to be a dirty team for a long time. That team is going to be a force to reckon with going forward. So it's just a matter of, like you said, the Bulls falling into that one player that you can build around and gravitate other players to come play for you. Scott, what did you have on that?
I think the Reinsdorf still have too much say in how the teams run, and that's causing issues. Jerry's not doing anything with this team. This is all Michael. And I think he's more worried about trying to stay competitive than actually rebuilding. Hence why they just felt like they had to give Patrick Williams $90 million.
You gotta make that money.
Yeah. They're not gonna go for being the worst team in the league. They'll never try to do that. They're always trying to hold on to players too long, because if they trade people will stop watching.
Yeah.
I also do not trust AK drafting. He lucked out with Io. The rest has been dog shit.
Yeah.
Kobe was Garpex, right?
Yep.
Kobe
Yeah.
was Garpex. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. Actually, if you think about it, they have not produced one solid player. Like, even given JP, which JP you're drafted in the second round, the expectations were not there. Like Dalen Terry, like he's shown improvements, but he's still the same player he was the first year we drafted him. Like, and don't get me wrong, like after Dalen Terry got in that little scuffle with Isaiah Stewart, that man stepped up his game. Like he was killing it yesterday on the Bucks game, man. But yeah, other than that, like they still refuse to admit that their little Patrick Williams experiment hasn't failed yet, and it has. Like, so I'm with you. Even if they do get a first round pick, a first overall pick, we'll give them that. Are we actually going to trust that they're going to take the right selection, or, you know what I mean? Is this just going to be another Patrick Williams all over again?
I mean, I kind of think their only mistake was Pat, really.
Yeah.
Like, if you think about it, Iowa's a lucky draft pick. Like, like that just where we got him. With Dalen, with, Julian, we've gotten players where it's like, okay, they're going to be good role players. They're not going to be like, we didn't expect Dalen to be a star. We didn't expect Julian to be a star. We knew they would be like, hopefully they become great role pieces for this team. Modest was supposed to be a top 2 pick. So getting him where we got him, I mean, at this point, I kind of wish we had Connect more now. But
yeah,
you can tell like they drafted him in a position where he was supposed to be drafted. So it's like if he doesn't become a superstar, well, you drafted him where he was supposed to go.
Right.
But when it comes down to Pat was the real chance you had at having a superstar.
Yeah.
When you get to the top 3, top 4, 5 picks, you can't make mistakes. That's when it's like, that's a star or you screwed up for the next 5 years. Like, you have to make that pick count. And I think that's why they're so hesitant to release him and just say, hey, we messed up, because that signifies like we had our chance and we took the wrong person. So it's just going to come down to them getting to a point where you just have to either decide we're going to bench Pat or we're going to let him go somewhere else. And in classic Bulls fashion, if they do, he'll go to another team and become the star of that team. And then they'll make a finals appearance and we'll all get pissed off. It's just,
Pat will go to like a team in like the bottom tier, and the second he gets there, that team is like the heavy favorite to win the championship now. Pat, he goes to Pat's Portland.
He's going to turn the Wizards franchise around.
No, your boy Jordan Poole's already doing that.
Oh, get out.
No, real talk though. Like, I think that Patrick Williams still shows flashes, but again, when you're a top 4 pick, you're expected to be the guy that turns that franchise around. Because as you know, not many teams get the opportunity to pick top 5 very often. I mean, unless you're the 76ers of the early 2015s. I mean, you don't get the top 5 pick very often at all. So when you do get those picks, you got to make absolutely sure that you're drafting the player that's going to turn your franchise around. But again, to Dan, what Dan mentioned earlier, I think it was a matter of you had to re-sign him for the 90 mil. Otherwise, you know what I mean? It's one of those you had to sign him for that much. You had the money, give it to him. You know what I mean? Because there was just too many what ifs with Pat. Because like, what if he was intimidated with, Zach and DeMar on the floor, and what if maybe he had a bigger role, maybe he would produce more. But
he was good off the bench last year.
He was great off the bench last year.
Pat, yeah.
When he rolled with that second unit, I saw a brand new Patrick Williams every time. When he rolled with the starters, I felt like he was lost or just didn't know where to fit in. What do you think?
I got to dip out. So I'll see you guys. See you guys later.
Dan's cutting out. We're going to keep it going.
Good.
Nice talking to you.
All right. I'll see you guys.
See ya. Well, Dan left right when we were about to talk about his boy, so he'll turn on the feed afterwards. And Lonzo Ball, as you know, we just got that news that well, it's been news, but it's no longer his knee. He's got that hand sprain that he's going to be out. What was it, Q? About 6 weeks now.
I think they're gonna evaluate him in 6 weeks.
Yeah,
It's just at this point, it's the same thing with the knee all over again. Just we'll keep looking at it, hopefully, because didn't they say that the injury he has is pretty close to what Pat had when he was out for the year? So there's a chance he could miss a whole nother year, and we just can't get the man on the court.
Yeah. Realistically speaking, you know, AK looked at Bill and he's like, wait a second. You guys are playing way too good with Lonzo on the court. We got to find a way to get him off the court. Okay, come on. We want that pick. Scott, what do you think of Lonzo? You can speak your mind now. Dan's gone. He can't hurt you.
Really? I think he's retired within the next 2 years.
Wow.
Like he was looking good, but he's just so injury prone and he's so reckless with his play that he's never going to stay healthy.
You think
the guy he was what he came back with a knee surgery. He was jumping into the crowd. He's going to continue getting hurt. He just does not know how to stay on the court. So I think he's a good player, but I wouldn't be surprised if he maybe comes back again and gets hurt, or he just is done for the year. And then what? Is this on his last year of his contract?
Yeah.
At that point, no one's picking him up. He can go play in China with
Dwight.
Everybody.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing, man. Like, I think the guy's, like you said, he's got tremendous talent. I just think he's unlucky. Aside from having one of the most tragic knee injuries we've seen since Derrick Rose, I mean, the man, he came back and it was seamless. It's like he never got hurt. You know, he came in with that energy. Like Scott said, he was jumping in the crowds. I mean, with it being a new injury, I'm going to give him more of a benefit of the doubt. But of course, I don't see him on this roster going forward. But the only thing I'm a little upset about is with all these injuries coming up, it's making it that much more difficult for the Chicago Bulls to dangle that contract in front of those teams and eliminate that 20 mil off the books, or, you know what I mean? Because that's what I would have liked to have seen this year, was to either, I mean, I'm not quite a buyout, but, you know, trade for an expiring, you know, trade him away to a team that just looking to unload some contract money and get him off the books. Q, what do you think?
I mean, it's scary. Like especially when you see that. I'm happy that this injury has nothing to do with his lower body, because that's when it gets really scary. But I mean, at this point, didn't Lonzo have a terrible injury in coming out of college, and now he has his knee, and then he has some severe injuries. Like, he doesn't just get hurt a little bit. When he gets hurt, it's like you're out months and months, and that's scary. But then again, it's hard because, I mean, Pat's the same way. When Pat gets hurt, he's out. Like, there is no out for 1 or 2 games. Like, he's gone for a while. And now you have, you know, Zach, who's had injury. It just seems like the Bulls have a lot of players on their team who are just injury prone. It seems like the organization's injury prone. Anybody who's going to play a guard on this team, like, if anything, part of me just superstitiously believes it's because he's our point guard.
Yeah.
Because at this point, anybody who's a Chicago Bulls point guard is just destined to get some type of like career-altering injury. But no, I think Lonzo's great for this team. I personally thought he was. I didn't think he was going to be the Lonzo he was when he came back. I thought the Bulls had him here to be more of a mentor for Giddey, to kind of help him on the defensive end, to teach him that stuff. But seeing him play, it's sad to see Lonzo Ball coming off of 2 years and a knee injury that none of us ever have seen anyone come back from, and he looked better than Josh Giddey immediately.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, and Josh Giddey never getting hurt, and Lonzo Ball being away from not just from professional basketball activities. The man, I mean, Stephen A was giving him shit that he may not even be able to walk ever again. You know what I mean? So I want to see him succeed. I don't want to. Obviously, I will never wish bad things on a player. I think that when he came here, I was excited. I'm glad he overcame that injury. But I want to see him come back from this injury. I want to see him make it through the season. I want to see him go on to another team, and have a successful rest of his career. I think that young man has still got a lot of play in him. It's heartbreaking that he keeps getting injured because I mentioned, I'm going to throw in here like the Greg Odens, the Brandon Roys, insert injury prone player here, where coming out of college, they had sky high potential, and then stepping onto an NBA court, it's like they turn into a piece of glass and they can't stay healthy. You know what I mean? And Brandon Roy, I mean, that's probably one of the most closest comparison to Alonzo Ball as far as injury wise, where, the man couldn't stay healthy. But we'll see. So based on all this, do you see us winning more games? Okay, let me rephrase that. Do you see us winning the 30 games that they told us, or do you see us winning less?
I see us winning it, sadly.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't want us to, but knowing the Bulls, they're going to do just enough to lose the pick. And they're going to give us some stupid press conference where AK sits there and goes, well, we felt like we had a good year. We're going to look at some things, see what we need to change up. And there's just going to be another year. And then over the offseason, we're going to trade Zach for Chris Paul. Yeah. And then Billy Donovan's going to get a 6-year extension, and we're all just going to cry. And that's going to be what happens, because the Bulls like to make us sad. They like to piss us off as fans, and we continually buy tickets and show up. And now there are people who are paying for League Pass and paying Jerry $30 a month to watch his shitty teams who don't win games. So, yeah.
Real quick before I get to Scott, are you gonna buy that CHS on Pat? No,
I'm watching it like any Chicagoan who does things that they don't talk about on the internet to watch games does, and I'm gonna do that until I can watch it on all the platforms I already pay for, that I pay for specifically to watch the Bulls. Yeah. So,
dude, I mean, you got the NFL on like Amazon Prime. You know what I mean? Like, you can watch the most, you can watch America's sport on the highest of platforms, but you cannot watch NBA basketball on cable unless you have DirecTV. You have to go on some third-party app or a third-party website and sit through all the pop-ups and eventually get to like some pixelated broadcast of the game. Like I said, I joked about it. I'm like, how is it that I can watch cricket in India just fine, but a basketball game that's happening 20 miles down the road, I can't find it?
Yep. And what's worse is like, you can't watch it, and people who bought antennas, which they told us to buy, still don't get the channels.
Yep.
So like, you got all these people paying money that
didn't work at my house,
pay, and then you're like, oh, sorry if it doesn't work. Well, here's an option where you could give us money now.
Yeah. Jerry's in on a cut of those antennas. That's why they told you go buy an antenna. Jerry invested in the antenna. He's getting a portion of that cut. I'm convinced. Scott, are we winning 30 games? We winning more? Are we winning less? What do you think?
Well, before we get to that, the Portland Trailblazers gave antennas to all their fans for this exact reason.
Yeah.
Bulls aren't going to do that.
No.
The one good thing, I know it's not basketball, but the MLB is looking for a way to buy all the local networks and make it so if you buy League Pass, there is no blackout. So if this does work, the NBA may do that.
Yeah, I honestly what is the purpose of a blackout? Is this just to give like the local channels the rights to it?
Yep.
You know, I respect that.
If you get League Pass, you should be able to get it. It's stupid.
Thank you.
What I feel bad for like people in Iowa, especially for baseball, they're blacked out for like 4 teams.
Really? Well,
yeah, because
Cubs, White Sox,
you're not going to get, and the Twins
or the Twins. Yeah.
Oh, and probably the Cardinals, but yeah. But what was the question? I was bitching about the CSN. Also, Rob brought it up earlier. Vucevic was talking shit about the. Did you see his tweet?
Yes. Rob, thanks for bringing that up, because it's funny that your own player on your own team is even trash talking your network. Like, he posted what was that, Wedding Crashers?
Yep.
Where they're like spraying the champagne, and he's like, Bulls fans right now knowing that they can finally watch a game. I mean, I was in person, so I mean, it didn't affect me. But if it wasn't for like Scott here having a Uverse account, we wouldn't even be able to watch the games. I don't know.
I would. You just wouldn't be able to talk about it.
Yeah. I would stream it the same way I did with that Logan Paul fight, even though I had Netflix because
you know what's crazy about that? During the fight, I was streaming the Logan fight, and I had Netflix on my phone, and Netflix was buffering, but the stream wasn't.
That's it. That same thing happened to me. I was like, I'm just going to try to stream this because Netflix wasn't working.
I tried to give Netflix my audience. They said no. So at that
Were
point,
you stuck on Cheeks too? Did you get the cheeks? The cheeks of doom there?
I came after the cheeks, luckily.
Yeah. All right.
Did you guys
Sal,
hear about that though?
What's that?
They offered Mike Tyson a deal. A site offered Mike Tyson a deal to show the cheeks again.
Good news. He's broke, so he'll take it.
Yeah. Is it like OnlyFans or is it
some type of one of those sites? But apparently they offered him $25,000 to just show the cheeks.
Yeah. All right, Sal, what was your original question?
Over 30 games, under 30 games, 30 games exactly. Where do we at?
I think they're going to win over 30 games and lose the pick. But also, there's some pretty bad teams. So, like, the Bucks are trying to lose. The Sixers they're screwed. Their season's over. Paul George is probably out for the year now.
Yep.
Joel Embiid's crying because the team called him out for him being lazy and not showing up for practice. So the Raptors are a joke. The Wizards are the Wizards. So who knows what pick we'll get, but I have a feeling we're going to lose it. The team, like, they do well against like half the time. It's like either a close game or we get blown out by 30.
Yeah.
So they're going to pull a couple of those games out.
Yeah.
Also, if we would have drafted Connect, he would have been terrible. I just don't trust Billy to teach any rookie. And he's in the perfect spot with JJ Redick because it's JJ Redick's wet dream, a white guy that can shoot.
You got two of them.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and apparently throwing alley-oops to each other.
Yeah, that's a good story though for the Lakers. Like, yeah. Could you imagine if they still had Caruso?
They wanted THT, man. That's why they wanted THT. Didn't they dump Caruso for THT?
Yeah, they did.
And then we dumped Caruso for THT.
Oh no,
Yeah.
that actually happened. Jesus.
Yeah.
Did you see that game where THT came in? He came in. I think it was late in the game. Came in, had a turnover, a bad shot, and then he got pulled. He had like 59 seconds in the game.
Yeah,
I'm glad
notice
that
how
Billy's
has been playing because of it.
Mm-hmm. So the other day, or not the other day, it was yesterday. I was at the game, and one of the Bucks fans like tapped me on the shoulder, and they're like, "Hey, what's the deal?" This is their exact voice. I'm not mad. What's the deal with Javon Carter? Like, what do you mean? And he was like, "Why hasn't he been playing? When he was up here by us, he was an absolute stud. Like, when he left, we were all upset. Like, what's going on with him?" Like, he's probably just a poor locker room guy. He's inconsistent. I mean, where do I start? You want him back? Give me AJ Green and you can have him back.
The only thing you need to say is pump faking.
Yeah. Passing out
just
from a
every
layup.
time he gets the ball, it's pump fake. He's like, it doesn't even matter if he's open or not. It's just he pump fakes to see and then he shoots. I don't understand it. It's the weirdest thing. They were making fun of him in the game last night. He came in, they were like, he didn't even break a sweat. He just shot a three just immediately. just right out the gate.
Do you remember when Mirotic used to do that? He would be at the 3-point line, pump fake, and
over and
shoot
over
it.
again.
Yep.
Every time. It was like it's part of his jump shot. It just has to pump fake to feel confident.
Yep. I'm with you guys. I think that they win over 30 games. It's enough to screw us out of that pick. And this will be the pick that, this will be the year that we find out like, oh, we could have had the first overall pick had we, like San Antonio gets the first overall pick. I don't know.
Let me ask you guys this, because I feel like I'm not with most people on it. I'm a person who thinks we shouldn't get Cooper Flag, even if we get the first overall pick. And I've been told I'm crazy for that. What are your guys' thoughts?
Oh, you're not crazy at all. I'm glad you said that because I'm not high on Cooper Flag either. Not saying he's not a great player, not saying he's not a true and try number one. I'm just saying I don't think we need that position. I think like Ace Bailey, what's the other guy? The center. Shoot. Bleacher Report just had us drafting him like Glenn something from
The guy from Duke?
No. What's his name? I'll think of it later. There's just other positions that I'd rather address than Cooper Flag. Who do you?
Good news. We're drafting a point guard.
Oh, was it the Jaleel
No,
Bethia?
I don't know. Just a point guard, shooting guard. You know, we don't have many, so we need a couple.
None.
Well, I mean, do we have point guards though? Like,
very true.
I would really
Right.
be happy to have one. I would love to have a Donovan Mitchell or a Darius Garland or a Tyrese Maxey. Like, we have a bunch of guards, but no one knows who's the star out of them, who's going to be the centerpiece, or if any of them will be here in 4 years. Like, I want us to have a point guard that is like, that's your guy. He's going to be there. You're going to build around him. Let's make it work. And not, we have 6 people who could all grow into the position, and we just got to see who magically becomes a superstar out of them.
Yeah. Chat. Drop it in the chat who you want the Bulls to draft this year. Do you think they should draft Cooper Flag if given the opportunity, or would you rather see another pick? Q, who do you like in this draft? I know it's kind of too early to say who's coming out or who's. I mean, we just know Cooper Flag, Ace Bailey.
Yeah, I mean, right now I just know the top people. I haven't done a lot of research into it yet. I feel like at this point, I can't even decide who I want because the Bulls could be anywhere in this draft. Knowing them, knowing us, we'll have Zach and Vooch go off and we'll win 45 games, and then for some reason get like the 16th, 18th pick and be like, oh well, nothing we thought about worked. For me personally, if we do have a high draft pick, I do like Ace Bailey. I think that Cooper Flag for me is a great player. He's going to be amazing in the league. But he's going to be one of those things where you have him and you basically have the same player you just drafted in Modest. So it's like, great. They're basically pretty much the same height. They have the same similar skill set. And now we just have 2 of the same players like we're doing with Kobe and Ayo, where it's like, we're going to put you 2 out there. Neither of you will really get all the minutes. And we're just hoping that one of you develops in half the time of what we should give you. Like, we need to make our decision. If Modest is going to be a great player, give him all those minutes at that spot.
Yeah.
Get a point guard or center, give them all the minutes at that spot. If you want to make a superstar, you have to draft a star and give them the keys. You can't be like, hey, Kobe, you could be the future, but you got to spend half of your time as the shooting guard and half as the point guard because we don't know if you really will be. But I think building this team young is going to be great. But yeah, Ace Bailey for right now. As we get closer to knowing how much the Bulls screw us, I can start looking at other people.
Yeah, we've only really seen a small sample size of how badly we can get screwed. I mean, the good news is we're constantly getting blown out by 20 every night. You know, yeah, we do battle back, but I don't see us being that low in the draft. But I mean, we'll see. I'm excited for. Okay, I play a lot of. I follow a lot of. What do you call those? Like not recruits. What do you call them? The young Scouts. Yeah, I like this draft, but I like the draft next year. I mean, we're talking about like when the Boozer kids come in, Keon Anthony, who's that? Koa Pete, AJ DeBansa. Like I'm looking at that draft class because that's going to be one for the books. There, that'll be a good one. I think even Gilbert Arenas' kid is in it. So
funny story about Gilbert's kid. He said that he didn't know he was a basketball player for a lot of his life.
Yeah, I heard that.
He said it when like he hit one of his kids' classmates wore a jersey to school and was like, "Yeah, he's my favorite player." He's like, "Oh, that's my dad."
That's my dad.
That's true parenting, though. He didn't push his kid to play basketball. He just fell in love with it. My hope is, can we get a center who's over 7'1", please?
Yes. Oh,
everyone else does. I just want one. Just one 7'1" to 7'2" player on this team that can maybe block a shot at just anywhere.
Yeah. Man, they had Patrick Williams out there playing center the other day. Like, come on.
Better than Alex Caruso.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Well, yeah. Well, we had Torrey Taylor, 6'5" Torrey Taylor out there. Like, come on, man. Or Terry, rather. I'm sorry.
Javon, we need you play center for a couple minutes.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, I miss when the center position was like you're only a center if you're over 7 foot. You know what I mean? Like if you were 6'10", you were a power forward, and I think that was like my ideal height for a power forward would be 6'10", 6'9". You know what I mean? Your center was always 7 foot. I mean, unless you were an anomaly to the game, you were 7 foot tall. You know what I mean? So yeah, I would love to have just a tall center who can grab boards. You know. Scott,
that's not this draft.
No,
there's not really centers.
No,
there's a really good power forward out of Georgia. He's averaging like 3 blocks a game and like 9 assists or 9 rebounds, like 20 points. Asa Noel. But
I don't know who that is.
Do we know we need another forward though?
Yeah, no.
Oh well, I would guess you would probably put him at power forward or center most of the time. We need a backup center, and I think he could play it. He's 6'10".
I mean, he fits with the Bulls center position.
Yeah, he fits for the Bulls. Well, here's the thing, like, you know, are we playing Matas at small forward? Or are we playing him at power forward?
They're going to play him at power forward.
Yeah, so like,
No
and you have Patrick Williams, so right there, forward positions out the door. The only variables you have are the center position, because I don't think Vooch is going to be here. I don't want to say he's not going to be here that much longer, but as soon as his contract's up, you know he ain't coming back. The only position that still isn't a revolving door is a point guard. But again, this draft class doesn't look like it has a loaded point guard. What is it? What is this draft stacked on, Scott? Is it more forwards? Or?
Shooting guards and small forwards.
Would you guys be opposed to moving Kobe back to the point and drafting Ace Bailey?
At this point, yes. Giddey is like, you can't get worse than Giddey.
He needs to come off the bench.
As much as I make fun of it, at this point, I would rather have Javon Carter.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You know how much I hate him. He plays better defense than Giddey.
He's cheaper.
Oh yeah.
And at this point, he shoots better than Giddey.
Yeah.
Like, it's scary for me to say this, but
so, is Javon Carter, or is Josh Giddey the new Javon Carter then?
No,
not
because he
quite
doesn't
there
pump
yet.
fake. As long as he doesn't pump fake, and just his face, he doesn't look as stupid as Javon Carter looks. No, I think Javon Carter I don't think he wants to be here as far as the team. Mm-hmm. Like, he went from Milwaukee, he went from a great team, a championship type of contender, to the Bulls, and it's great that he's home. But like, to play on the team where you're like, great, every night I go out. Like, I think we act like as fans we don't realize the players go into these games going, we're probably going to lose tonight. Yeah, like, they don't think they're winning half of these games.
Yeah,
like, imagine your job is waking up and being like, I wonder how much we're going to lose by tonight.
Right. Yeah,
I think that's part of Giddey's issue too.
Yeah,
is he seems to go in there, and there was one game he just went in there, like, committed 2 fouls, stopped playing defense, and then got benched.
Yep.
So he looked like he quit. Half the time, Zach, when he's not getting the ball, he's just standing around. He looks pissed.
Yeah.
But sometimes he also doesn't, like, understand how defense works. Like, there was a couple times with the guy yesterday who destroyed us. The guy from
talking about AJ Green.
Yeah, AJ Green. Yeah, there was times where he would hit a shot in the corner, and Giddey would look at everybody like, "Where did you guys go?" And it's your man. Like, you missed that assignment. Why are you talking to anybody but yourself? Like, So like, there's times where he doesn't do an assignment, and then he looks at the team like, "Why didn't no one cover me?" And this isn't OKC. Yeah. This team isn't good at defense. If you mess up, no one's taking that brunt for you. Yeah. So.
You don't have Chet down low to protect the rim. You don't have Shea backing you up. You don't have Loot. You don't have these players. You got Julian Phillips, who's got to guard one of the best players in the world. So he's not leaving Giannis to go guard AJ Green in the corner with you. I'm sorry, that ain't happening. So, so do you guys think? Would you guys say let him walk? What do you resign him? What do you do?
Let him walk.
Kitty?
Yeah.
They're gonna re-sign him because the Bulls can't let people walk.
Yeah.
And like we've said, AK is afraid to admit that he's wrong and messed up. So yeah, they're gonna re-sign him. Hopefully not for $90 million, but
no.
I think they re-sign him, but I also think he plays better. He starts to get it together and play a little bit better once he starts hearing it from the rest of the team. Mm-hmm. He's already come out and admitted that said that he knows he hasn't been trying.
Who's that, Giddey?
Yeah.
Okay.
He recently came out saying that like he knows his defense, he hasn't been trying on defense, and it's something that he's going to start working on. But also, you shouldn't have to say
working
that.
on now.
Yeah, it is a contract year, young man.
He said he started that in the offseason when he first drafted him.
But they're going to re-sign him.
Yeah. Also, keep in mind, like, we also have to pay Io. Io's going to be due for a contract soon. We have to pay Julian. We have to pay Dalen Terry. Like, there's a lot of people that we either got to decide. Kobe. Well, didn't Kobe just get his contract?
Kobe and Io signed a 3-year deal last year.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't see us re-signing Dalen Terry.
No.
He's starting to get that grit to him, but I just with what we have, like with how Julian's shooting, they're gonna pick Julian over Dalen Terry.
Yeah. I'm gonna get a lot of shit from the UK guys. Guys, I love you guys. I listen to your pods every time they drop. I know you guys are big Dalen Terry fans. I respect that, but I don't like Dalen Terry. I love his energy. Like, I love what he brings to the court. I love his, like, the kid is energetic. He's that mascot on the floor. He's like a better Thanasis, but I don't think he's what this team needs. He'll have a good game. Yeah, cool. Every dog has his day. But I think we need to improve the bench as well. Like, that shouldn't be our bench right there is a Dalen Terry. We need to get some veteran role players who have played, you know what I mean? Plus he's too streaky of a shooter.
Better than Giddey.
Yeah. There's that. Yeah.
Saying a lot considering how bad he is at shooting. I think, the team I think Dalen would be good to go to.
Mm-hmm.
Could you imagine Dalen Terry on like the Warriors?
Yeah.
Just like, hey, we don't need you. Just go out there and just energy. Just go do some stuff. Yeah. Be a smaller Draymond Green. Just go after people. Go dive for balls. Get the ball up there. Take it on the fast break. Throw it to Curry.
Yeah. I mean, there's the thing. Like, maybe it's just our system. Maybe Terry's just not. But he just looks like a giraffe on roller skates when he's out there. His handles aren't the greatest. I mean,
he can't pass. His shooting, like we just said, is streaky. I mean, he plays some very good defense. I will give it to him. He does play some very good defense, but like I said, at this day of the game, unless you are a lockdown defender, you need to do a little bit more. A good player comparison to Dalen Terry. I mean, I don't know if you guys were around and following when he was playing. Like, I see like a Keith Bogans, very good defender, didn't score very many points. A James Posey, great defender, annoying defender. He got in fights almost every game, but really wasn't the best of shooting. He was just exactly that. He was out there. He had 6 fouls. He was going to use each and every single one of them on you. So, and what are you smiling at there? What are you smirking at there, Scott? 6. He does. Like, immediately Terry's in there, he's getting a foul. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, and that's cool. Like, go if you want to use him as like hey, you have 6 fouls. We need to slow down Giannis. Take him down because the man can't shoot free throws. Also, were you guys able to hear it on the TV yesterday? So I didn't know this, but when fans that aren't fans of the Bucks go to the Bradley Center and Giannis starts taking free throws, they start counting.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
been doing
always
that since
over the
last
time
year.
limit.
Always.
Yeah, he's over the time limit every time.
And they never call it.
No.
Yeah. Also, the Bulls had 7 free throws yesterday.
Yeah.
What the hell?
Oh, I'm glad you guys mentioned that because besides not getting the line, when is the last time you saw somebody take a charge on this team?
I couldn't tell you. I know Terry's
That's
tried
very true,
several
actually.
times.
Yeah, he's just never in position.
That was AC's thing. He tried to take he got like 2 or 3 charges every game.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Kobe tried when AC was trying. Now Kobe doesn't even do it anymore.
Yep.
He just stopped doing it.
Yeah. I'm like, did we just stop taking charges? I mean, you got to think like we went from probably one of the top teams taking charges to not at all. Like, do they just think it's too dangerous? I don't know. Did they just remove it from their criteria? I don't know.
You know what I think it is? I think it is the fact that the Bulls' new defense is strictly about you have to stop the 3-point shot, cover for people. They have no trust in their centers in the paint. So there isn't that same thought process of I can let my man go and take a charge. They're always like, if I take a charge and it doesn't work, there's no one to cover me, and then there's no one to cover the other person. And then you're constantly in this frenzy of trying to make sure everything's perfect. The Bulls, without Alex Caruso, without Alonzo, they do not have the mental IQ on defense to take chances.
Yeah.
Take chances, they look bad.
Yeah. And I mean, I guess it's easy for me to say that sitting in a chair and not when I have, 270 something odd Giannis running full speed at me. And I'm just, little 6'3" guard, I mean, yeah.
Give me one game, Bulls. I'll stand there. I won't move. You wanna pay me an NBA salary to just stand there? I will take a charge every play of the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That will pay my medical bills and then some. We are good.
Oh, I heard they got good insurance, man. If you're a player, you get that insurance. Hell yeah.
Did you see the video talking about LeBron and his son? They someone did a video calculating their salaries, and like it was a clip of them checking into the game and how much money they made in that like 30 seconds. And Bronny made like 70 seconds, and LeBron made like $29 for just walking onto the court
in 30 seconds.
Yeah, literally just him just going to the scores table, walking on a court, $30.
Jeez, dude, I can do that.
Yeah,
I could do that.
I could play better defense than Giddey. I guarantee I'll give you more effort.
Yeah, and you won't turn around and look at your teammates and say who's covering them.
You pay me that much, I will sit there and be like, it was my fault. I'm sorry.
Well, fellas, we got the Atlanta Hawks coming up, second game of the group play in the NBA Cup. If you guys haven't seen it already, go slide over our YouTube page. I'm doing a series where I predict the winner of the NBA Cup, and I want to see if it matches up. In the quarterfinals right now, part 3 drops tomorrow. But enough of that. We have the Atlanta Hawks tomorrow in the Cup, as I just mentioned before. Are we finally going to win a group stage game in the NBA Cup?
There's a good chance, mostly just because Trae Young likes to take bad shots in the fourth quarter. That's the reasoning. I don't know though, because we don't have Pat. It's going to come down to Kobe Ayo attacking Trae Young every play. You cannot let him have time off. You can't let him go in the quarter. Josh Giddey better damn well attack Trae Young that entire game. If he doesn't with that height difference, then you need to trade him immediately.
Thank you. What is he, 6'8", and Trae Young's what, 6'2", with shoes on? No. I mean,
if I'm Billy, I'm telling him first play out, you're running through him.
Yeah,
I don't care.
Yeah, again, you have 6 fouls. Use them.
Give him that Kobe Powell from the Olympics. Just shoulder to chest. Just run through him. Let him know.
Yeah. They need to stop him, and I want to see them get a handle on Clint Capella. For whatever reason, when Clint Capella plays us, he always turns into like a mini Shaq. So Scott, who you got with Atlanta?
We're gonna beat Atlanta. I was looking at since 2021, we are 9-4 against Atlanta. So
9-4.
We beat Atlanta every time. Yeah, the only team we're good against is Atlanta, apparently.
Trae Young.
Yeah. So you
So
think we beat them then?
I
yeah?
think we beat Atlanta. Yeah, we're gonna beat Atlanta. Who else do we have in our? Do we have the Raptors too?
No. We have us, Boston, Cavs, and Washington.
Okay, we'll probably lose to Washington when they play their G League. Everybody's gonna be hurt. The G League team will come back up and beat us.
Yep.
But no, I think we beat the Hawks. We always have the Hawks' number, and because Trae Young shoots too many threes and turns the ball over, and is super overrated.
So he's basically Josh Giddey. Anyway.
No, he's better than Josh Giddey.
I know. The man could actually shoot
And dribble.
and dribble. Yeah. I asked Scott this last time, but who do you got winning the NBA Cup? Because as everybody knows, once you get past the group stage, it's single game elimination where even your best of teams can be eliminated by a team that just barely squeaked by.
I would have said Boston, but Cleveland this year is scary.
Yeah.
They are like, they're not just beating teams, they're like making statements. So for right now, which is how they're playing, even watching them play us, like how smooth it looks between, having Garland and having Mitchell and being able to play them vice versa and let them sit. That's going to be a really hard team to beat. They have a point guard on the floor at all times that can score, that can get to the rim, that can get assist. So it's going to be really hard to stop them. And plus, they're going to have that confidence going into it where at this point, all they're thinking is who is going to beat us.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. They're nuts this year, man. What about for like the West? Who you see coming out of the West?
That's a hard one.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm gonna say something, and I don't think it'll happen, but it's who I want.
All right.
I want the Lakers.
Really?
I like this whole LeBron connect. Like, I like that they have some players who you don't expect that are like doing things that you don't think about and you didn't see them doing. Like, I think we all knew Connect would be good. Not this good. Right. Reeves is just, he's ascending at this point. They've been some players that I've really liked. And as much as we've had this statement before, as much as I think LeBron is not the GOAT.
Right.
I do love LeBron's game. I love how he plays the game. I think JJ Redick is an amazing coach, and I think he's underrated. I think his IQ for the game is different. And you can kind of see it. I kind of wish we had a coach like that who calls players out and curses people out and doesn't allow stuff like that to happen.
Yeah.
But that's going to be my pick. I think in situations like that, LeBron can carry a team into winning some games like that when he thinks it really matters.
Yeah. Well, we had a coach like that, but we fired him and had security escort him out, and his name was Tom Thibodeau.
Yeah, but I love Tibbs, but Tibbs also just had to learn to stop playing players when they didn't need to be played.
Right.
Like, as much as we love Tibbs, Derrick Rose's injury is 100% on Tibbs.
I mean, I can agree with that. I mean, there's those people that say that, this injury would have happened, the fourth quarter would happen in the first quarter, would happen no matter what. But at the same time, I think the wear and tear that he had, because there's some games Bulls are up by 15 and you see Derek there in the fourth. It's like, come on, dude. Like, what are you doing there? Remember when, who was it that put up 40 points in the first, or was it when last year, when Karl Towns, he put up, 60 points and sat the entire fourth quarter. It's like, all right, dude, give this kid a break. You know what I mean? But
sometimes you just have to not play people.
Yeah.
And it could have happened at any point. Yeah, it could have happened at the beginning of a game. It didn't. It happened when he wasn't supposed to be on the floor. So, like, there's no argument to he shouldn't have been there.
Right. Scott, who did you have winning the cup? I forgot.
I do not remember, but the Atlanta Hawks are 2-0, and they beat the Celtics.
Wait, what?
Yeah, apparently they beat the Celtics the first game by 1 point. So the Hawks are leading our groups. So
what
did
does it
not
go-
expect that.
So you tell me
Hawks,
it goes Hawks.
We might lose
Cleveland.
tomorrow.
Yeah, we're gonna lose.
So Hawks, Cleveland, Boston, us, and then Washington.
Officially, we are in 5th place because
we're last.
Washington has only lost by 12 and we've lost by 18.
How are we behind
Yeah.
the Wizards?
Oh, that's because at the end of the game, Donovan Mitchell and what's his face went off and just started pouring threes in, even though it was garbage minutes.
I'm gonna say the Warriors are probably gonna win it. I really like that team. They're playing really well right now.
Yeah. Do you remember
But
my
I
team?
could see the Lakers because
Lakers.
JJ, as much as I did not think JJ Redick was going to be a good coach, I think it's a perfect coach for that team because he doesn't have to worry about the ego of LeBron or whatever because he's just letting them do whatever. And I think he's more worried about developing the younger players.
Yep. Yeah, I agree. I think that JJ Redick going into the season, I think a lot of people were like, "What? You just hired LeBron's friend as a coach? Like, JJ Redick just got out of the league, But going throughout the season, that man is a smart guy. I think that it was a perfect pick for them. Unfortunately, I don't want them to win because I'm tired of seeing the Lakers and everything, man. Like I love LeBron. He's one of the most successful players to ever play the game. One of the most skilled players. You can go on and on and on, but it's like, man, I'm tired of seeing it, man. I'm tired of seeing it. I want new faces. And that's why my pick for the NBA Cup is going to be the Phoenix Suns.
Oh, I hate them so much.
You do? Really?
I just hate everything about the Suns.
Yeah?
Everything about them makes me angry.
This team or that franchise?
Just both. Just both. Their uniforms are ugly. Their logo's ugly. The team's not playing well. I have this thing where I don't like KD. I just
you
really don't. I think he's too soft. He complains about things he shouldn't complain about. Like, to be a millionaire and to be angry that people are calling you out on the internet, it just seems like a lot. Like,
Yeah.
there's so much to it. But yeah, I don't know. There's just a deep. It's like the hate you have for a rival.
Yes.
Like they're not our rival. I just have that hate deep in my heart for them. Like even on 2K, I think I've played on 2K on every team but the Suns. I refuse.
It's like
they're not going to make it out of the group stage, by the way.
What are they?
They got the Lakers and the Thunder in their group. They're not making it out.
Yeah.
What's their overall record this year? Not that it matters, but I thought it was like 8-4, right?
They are 9-7 right now in 7th seed in the West. So
it's only one game. One game matters. I could see them beating the Lakers. I don't see them beating the Thunder, which I'm not going to spoil.
They already spoiler. They already lost to the Thunder.
Oh, they did. Yeah. They'll beat the other 3 teams.
Question for you two.
Yeah.
Since I'm on now, because I know last time you guys were talking about this, I made a comment about my thoughts on what should happen with the winner of the in-season tournament. But now being on here, I can talk with you guys about it. What are your thoughts on that thought process of it being like if you were to win the tournament, you get to switch a home away game to a home game in the playoffs? Because I think imagine if you have a team like the Suns who are a team that could be a dark horse in the playoffs. KD can always do something. Booker can always do something. If they're a 7th seed, 8th seed in that first round, it's a, tied series, final game, they're away and they switch it to a home game just to get that extra little bit. Like, I think that's just that would be something that would really entice not just teams, but fans.
I like that. Switching a home game. I'm gonna have to think of this one. Scott, what do you think?
As a fan, I like it. As an owner, there's not a goddamn chance that an owner is going to give up a home playoff game.
Yeah.
But it's a good idea. There needs to be some sort of thing other than money.
Yeah.
Say, I don't know. It'd be
you get a flag.
You get an extra draft pick or something like that. But what are they going to give you? you're not going to get much from. I don't know. You'd have to get something. Maybe you get. How about you get a ball in the lottery? You get one ball in the lottery.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I feel like that's just not enough though. Like for the player,
Yeah.
like that's the issue with this is all of the bonuses have to be for the owners, and I think that's the issue with the NBA is it'll be something that's great for the league, it'll be great for the players, it'll be great for the fans, but the owner will lose money.
Right?
It's like
so
you
they
make
can't do that.
billions of dollars. Like, could you imagine Jerry being like, well, we could do this, but I couldn't lose. You know, that's a lot of revenue of that one game. That's like all the money I made from people paying for the streaming service. I don't get it.
Yeah. I mean, the draft pick idea, I mean, you're getting somewhere. Besides
it's basically a second round. You would have to get like the end of the first round, and that's nothing.
Yeah, I'm with Q. I think you would need some a little bit more. I mean, after realistically winning 4 straight games and winning a NBA Cup, the home court would probably be the most appropriate. But then again, I've always said that I think that like to get the All-Star game more, involved, I wanted to see them try where they have the home court advantage to the winning team of the All-Star game.
Well, they're doing what 4-team tournament now or something like that.
They're gonna try to do some 4-team tournament. Dude, in the end of the day, dude, there's no saving the All-Star game. Samadhi in the vicinity. What's going on, Samadhi?
Samadhi, it's always good to see you.
I know. Hope everyone is well and good. We are great. We're great. Now that you're in the pod, we're doing better. Now that you're on the live, we're doing better. But yeah, they just need to face facts. The All-Star game is a ticking time bomb. People are too conscious about their bodies and not wanting to play. And dude, rightfully so. Like some of these players are walking billboards of upwards of, $300 million a year. You're not gonna go to a dunk contest and, potentially risk hurting yourself and leave that money on the table. I get it, but for winning the NBA Cup.
Wait. What if you got extra cap room?
Oh yeah, bingo, right there.
I like it
because I mean everyone wins.
Yes, everyone has the same chance to win. Oh, that is
just like we'll give you more money. You get more. You get $4 million more in your cap next year.
Yeah, or you get dude. Oh wow, I like that.
You might be able to save a superstar player with it. Like imagine if Giannis is about to leave, you're like I can give you another $4 million over the next 5 years.
Yeah. Oh man, dude, you'd see Jerry go hard for those tournaments every year. Like I could save money.
He'd be like, "Oh, we got $6 million more, and we're still not going to spend it."
yeah. We still don't have cup holders in the stadium. Rob threw it in the chat that the new Clippers arena has a phone charger at every seat, and we don't even have cup holders.
Have you seen their towel thrower?
No.
Like the entrance to their games are like the players on the screen on the jumbotron, and it's like them like shooting like towels, and it shoots out the top of the jumbotron at like the audience.
Are you kidding me?
It looked so cool.
It's wild.
You know what I noticed, and this is speaking of towels and it never occurred to me. Okay, we've all been to Bulls home games, right?
Yeah.
And they throw out t-shirts throughout they throw t-shirts out here and there. I went to the Bucks game yesterday. They're constantly throwing t-shirts out, and not just t-shirts, jackets, the little foam balls, but it's like constant. It's like, is that how cheap we are that we can't even throw that many? Like you get there's a
they
small
throw bratwurst at those games too.
Do they really?
Sometimes they'll throw like hot dogs and bratwurst and stuff at the Bucks games.
They actually throwing food into the state.
We throw popcorn. Benny throws popcorn on people all the time. That's our
Well, what else could you want?
And even that,
I got a perfect thing for if we really want the owners to make their team try. You're able to get if your team wins, you're able to get out of a bad contract.
Oh man. Again,
just let him go.
Jerry Reinsdorf. Insert it, and his dumb ass would be like, we'll just cut Javon, the cheapest guy on the team.
Yeah,
they'll cut him. I like that. Wow.
Could
Yeah,
you
man.
imagine the league if they was just like, we're cutting Josh Giddey? Just,
Yeah.
he just signed a 5-year contract. Cut. Just
Yeah, cut. Oh man, that would be a good strategy. Sign him to the max
Oh,
and then cut
If
him,
we just
and then you get
let
that
go
money
of
back.
Zach right now.
Let go of
Imagine
Zach.
if we won and we just cut Zach right now.
Yeah.
It was just like all that money is just
See, because that could hurt or help you because that now you can't trade for him. You just let him go. You know what I mean? But you get that money back to sign.
it's only. I feel like that would work more for big market teams though.
Yeah.
Because like if you're a small market, if you're like Milwaukee, no one wants to go to Milwaukee.
No.
So
No.
it's like,
I don't know what the hell's going on up there. Like, the team should be a lot better than they are. Never mind that Chris Middleton is basically his team uniform is basically street clothes now.
They're coaching. Yeah, they're Doc Rivers.
Yeah, Doc. Yeah,
a good coach would sit them down and be like, "I need Dame and Giannis to run pick and roll every play.
yeah, exactly.
Every play should be a pick and roll between these two players. If they're not involved in the pick and roll every single time, you're failing."
That's exactly what I said to you guys when he first got up there. I'm like, this is gonna be a pick and roll, like it's gonna be like Lob City all over again.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if it's just chemistry or I mean, it's more than likely it's just Doc because when they had Adrian Griffin, he was tearing it up, and for whatever reason, they felt like being first in the Eastern Conference wasn't good enough and fired him.
Also, why is Giannis not running pick and roll with Brook Lopez?
Oh man,
That would be so dangerous. Like, who do you stop there?
yeah. Hopefully, no one from the Bucks. Hopefully, nobody from the Bucks is listening. Like, yeah, we're gonna do that now.
If we see it, I need to check. It was me.
Yeah.
Or hire me. I'll coach. It won't be
Yeah.
the best, but
Really,
I
I
mean-
think when Thanasis went down is when they started falling apart.
That's why they won yesterday because he was at the game.
the whole reason, just they lost their star.
Yeah,
Giannis isn't the same without his brother.
that's basically Terry. Terry's our Thanasis.
Yeah, but he actually plays too many minutes.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true. Yeah, they're the same people sitting behind me in the seats. They were like gushing over Thanasis because he was at the game. He's like, I missed Thanasis. I'd be like, why? He sucked. Why do you miss him?
But I also think he was just in a bad position too. Like I feel like a lot of these players they have to be in a position that lets them play. Because
Yeah.
sometimes, like Pat in the summer looks amazing. When we put him at point forward a couple games ago, he looked amazing.
Yes, he
And then
did.
Billy was like, "Great, you looked wonderful. We're never going to play you at point forward again."
Yes, yeah, that worked. Perfect. It's not happening ever again. You know,
He looked aggressive. He looked smart. He was making the right decision. He was playing good defense. Like maybe he just wants to be a point guard.
he did play point guard in was it college?
I think it was high school.
High school. Yeah, I know he used to play point guard. But yeah, I mean, maybe that what people also got to understand is those type of things boost a player's confidence as well. Being able to handle the ball, now you're in charge of it. You know what I mean? Like the little things that adds up because he has been making subtle improvements since, he has been turning it around. So I think it's only a matter of time, and then go figure the man turns it around and starts showing improvement and he's hurt again. But it's
What if none of them are hurt?
like,
What if it's what if the Bulls are just tanking? What if because every time we start to look good, somebody gets injured. Like Lonzo looked amazing, gone. Zach was playing good, got hurt for a little bit.
I mean, you're on to something. Like the thing is, like after all these rules, and who was it? The Spurs that were sitting their players and to tank, or who was it that were sitting their players to tank? Philly.
It was the Spurs.
Yeah, they
The
got
Spurs?
taken, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I thought it was the
Yeah.
Spurs, but like after that, and then they're like, the league's like, no, you can't do that because fans pay money to, to come see the games. But, if they're hurt, quote unquote, you know what I mean? They can't come see the game. I don't know. I mean, I would like to think that morally they wouldn't do that, but it's a
kinda feel like
Jerry Reinsdorf thing.
The Sixers might be doing that too. I don't know if Embiid's actually hurt or they
He's
just
just
want
lazy.
a good pick.
He actually might be hurt. I think Embiid just he just seriously doesn't know how to fall.
Yeah.
Like whenever you watch him
Yeah.
fall, he just drops. Like it's but
Well,
it's
it doesn't
it's an
help that
epidemic
he's
now.
flopping and just like always on the floor.
It's amazing.
He
though.
played
Like, right
normal
now,
basketball.
normal basketball. Just stop falling over. Just it's crazy though. Right now we don't have right now. Paul George is hurt. Kawhi Leonard is hurt. We just got off of Ben Simmons not playing forever. Embiid never looks good. Patrick Williams never really plays. Like the amount of players in the league who are just constantly just out indefinitely is wild.
It's unreal. Yeah. Side note, so I was listening to the By the Horns the other day, which weirdly enough, I don't know,
I feel like they stole your logo. I'm not.
Thank you. Oh my goodness.
When I saw it, I was like, "This is really the same horn style and everything. It's very similar."
Dude, man, I'm glad you said it because I told my wife, I'm like, Suze, look at this logo, and she's like, well, they look like they kind of took a page out of your book, and I'm like, that's the official podcast of the Chicago, you know what I mean, they're what do you call that? That their main podcast. I mean, because Bulls Talk was their main one, right? Yep. Did you see it, Scott? You're muted.
I'm looking at it right now.
Isn't it eerily similar? But my worry wasn't obviously, dude, flattery is the best form, or what is it?
Now let's sue them. Fuck them.
Well, I was more scared that people were going to look at us and say you stole their logo, and I'm like, wait a second now.
Well, no, if that happens, you can go back and go, no, I need you to go back to this day on this video, and you will see we had it first.
Yeah.
You might be able to put a cease and desist letter out there. They might be like, you have proof.
We do.
You have dated proof that is your logo.
Man, I mean, who else saw that? Chat. I mean, chat. Do you see what we're talking about, or I mean, the By the Horns podcast, the official one of the Bulls.
For you to work with the Bulls later on, but
yeah, that's very true. Yeah, I know that I told you to cease and desist and stole our logo, but you want to just come on, or we just merge the shows. You know what I mean?
Also, congrats to you seeing Stacy.
Yeah, dude, that was insane. So weirdly enough, I'm talking to my coworker because he actually was at the game, sitting at the row, the section next to us, and we met up after the game, and we're sitting by the pillar up there. What do you call that? The column, and he's sitting there talking to me, and I'm telling him a story about work, and out of the corner of the eyes, I see him, and I'm like, is that Stacey King? And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, we can go and take I'm like, I don't want to be that guy that bothers the guy to take a picture because he's probably super pissed off that he just lost the game, and now he's gonna have people bombarding him. I'm like, yeah, I still gotta take a picture with him. That's my guy. I gotta take a picture. Stacey King, if you're listening, I know you're not, but the nicest guy in the world. He had he was doing stuff on his phone, so he did look busy, but he still took pictures left and right. And and he retweeted me. Dream come true for me. So
it's the greatest feeling when Stacey retweets you.
I know. Stacey, if you're listening, hop on. Do a little. I said it in the caption. We'll do a little Horns Over Hoops. Give me the hot sauce. We could call it "Give Me the Horns." I mean, come on.
Say hi.
So we got a furry friend on the air. Look at that.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that. She wanted some love. She.
Yeah, it's my baby Pepper. She is.
There you go.
3 now.
3.
Yeah, she got rescued from underneath a car.
Oh, she did.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. How old is she? Did you say
3 years old?
3 years old. Okay.
Yeah.
The hoop and mic is different. Yeah, it is, and they also have the steam, the snort coming out. I feel like they had to do something.
I feel like they also probably had a bigger budget.
Yeah, that's true too. Yeah, that's very true.
But it's gonna be crazy if you guys ever you're ever rocking your merch and someone's just misconstrues.
Yeah. Because that's the thing. I loved our logo. I mean, I know she doesn't listen, but shout out to the person who made our logo.
Emily Swan.
Yeah, she killed it. I wasn't expecting it to look. I mean, not that I doubted any skills. I'm just saying I never expected to have a logo that was so good that I would want to wear it. You know what I mean? And that's exactly what she did. What do you got, Scott? You're snickering over there.
No, I'm just looking around what the Bulls podcast stuff now.
Now you see it, right?
He said, "I found a lawyer who."
Yeah, we're taking them down.
Yeah. Oh man, dude, I'm glad that other people noticed, and I was one. Anyway, tying it all back, I listened to that show, and Casey Johnson was saying something like, he didn't stick by it. Like he was just throwing the idea of should the Bulls like maybe make a trade for a Kawhi Leonard with like Zach or Vooch.
No, he's always hurt.
Yeah.
But I mean, a superstar of that stature. I mean, because people act like the Bulls aren't going to get a superstar. This is Chicago,
right?
Like it's not one of the places you don't want to live. So I mean, I just think who would we trade for that would be good for this team that you would get with Zach and Vooch? Like you're going to get you a Kawhi Leonard or a Paul George who you don't want. Or you're going to get you know, a Trae Young who ends up being a player you don't really want to have on your team. Like you're going to get a superstar for Zach. That's going to be the same situation. A big contract that has some flaws, and you got to try to figure out if those flaws are something you can work around. But
right.
I don't see you getting like a Jason Tatum or, you know, a Giannis, somebody who you can build your entire team around.
Do you think the Pelicans would be willing to give up Brandon Ingram because he's hurt a decent amount of time or often, and they need a solid center since Zion's always hurt? So maybe Vooch would be someone they would go for.
Maybe, but that's my issue. I'm tired of having players who are always injured.
Exactly.
Yeah. And I get a healthy will play the next 3 years and not deal with this. Like, I think that's the issue with the Bulls is it's always a player who's hurt or has an issue, or like I love Brandon Ingram's game. He can score, but then you're talking like, do you do that while you have Zach? Is that going to be something that screws the locker room up with the two of them now, and now other players don't get to develop? Like, there's a lot of issues. I think the Bulls, in my opinion, need to give Zach and Vooch up and just rebuild. Start fresh, go young, do what OKC did, and just go through the growing pains. Stop trying to be the Lakers. Yeah. We don't have the spending power. We're not going to spend the money to get the superstars you think we need. So just start over and hope that you have a young talent. Like, it's just...
That's the thing. Like, as naive as Jerry needs to realize something, that fans are still going to buy tickets to the game. Doesn't matter if you have a superstar or not on the team. We're still going to sell out the stadium. So why not just cut ties with these people and actually start a rebuild? Like, fans of me, I'll speak for myself, not the entire fan base, but I don't care if we rebuild. I would prefer a rebuild and have some direction rather than these limbo years where you're not sure what we're going to do. We could be good. We could be bad. We might, you know what I mean? Like, just give us some true and try, like, direction. Stop trading for these aged veterans that, you know, you hope rejuvenate their career in Chicago, and just retool, like, rebuild, you know. Also, what would you guys, because rumor has it, you know, that the Giannis rumors are heating up, that he's not happy up there, and he wants a what would you think about him taking a trip down I-94? Do you think that's a possibility?
No.
He's
not going to come here, because if Giannis leaves the Bucks, he's only going to leave for a contender, and the Bulls have not shown anything close to that. Like, if the Bulls right now would have traded Zach, we would have had draft picks. If anything, I can see Giannis going to OKC before he comes to us.
That's a scary team. Jeez.
Like, go somewhere where there's young players. You're the vet. It's your team. They know how to play. Coming to the Bulls is like, I'm just going there for money, and then we're gonna suck, and then I'm gonna be just as mad as I am now. And then except I have worse players.
Yeah.
Like, to imagine giving up Brook Lopez, Dame, and Bobby Portis for Vooch, Dalen Terry, and Julian Phillips.
Dude, I still see Danny Gafford every game, and I'm still pissed that guy was not good enough to be on the Bulls, but he's damn well good enough to be on the Western Conference representing team in the finals.
Yep. The Bulls need to do it. I've said it before, I'll say it again. As a Cubs fan, the Bulls need to do what the Cubs did when they got Epstein. we're going to suck for the next 4 years. I'm telling you now, we will be good. We will win a championship, but for the next 4 to 5 years, this team is going to be bad. We want you to stick with us. If the Bulls came out and said that, most Bulls fans are still going to the games.
Yeah. That's not the Jerry Reinsdorf of White Sox. We're going to be okay. Then we're going to be really bad. We're going to stay there a while, but then we're moving to Nashville. Pretty good.
The Nashville Sox would be.
That just makes no sense, too. Like the Nashville
White Sox.
Yeah. I mean, man. Did you see like where they were like giving tickets away, like at the game, Scott? Did you hear about them? Like towards the end of the year, they were just basically giving away tickets to the games because there was like seven people in the stand. Like there's not many people in the stands.
Why would you go to that dog shit? Why would you pay money to go there? They did. I had to yell at your brother during. So Sal's bachelor party. That we were in a group chat and they were talking about it and it was like, yeah, we're gonna go to a Sox game. I was like, absolutely fucking not. I'm not paying money to go watch that. I'm not giving Jerry money to watch that team.
It was great seats though.
You know what's crazy? The fact that they were the worst team in the league all year, and the one game people bought tickets for was the game they won. And the only reason people bought tickets is to watch them break the record of being the worst team in the league.
Yep.
That's the most Chicago thing in the world.
Yeah.
My favorite thing about the White Sox is, unfortunately, I'm a White Sox fan, and I have a bunch of Cubs fan friends, but it's fine. My favorite thing is they're literally cutting salary next year, like this upcoming year. They're cutting salary, and it blows my mind.
What?
Yeah.
Can we do it 2 years in a row?
Yeah.
You know what? So bring it back to basketball.
Yeah.
The Bulls need to do what the Orlando Magic did. They were awful for 4 years, and they are built a good team around young players and let them took the time to develop them. And I think the Pistons are doing the same thing right now. They drafted some good young players, and they're starting to develop into real solid players. You start getting veterans around them, and you become a playoff team.
Yeah, I'm with you because I think that I'm with you guys. I don't think the Bulls have ever really been a team that had the capability of acquiring a superstar player in their prime via trade. I think that a majority of the Bulls' success have always come in the draft. We've always drafted a great player. Your Derrick Rose, your Michael Jordans, your so on and so forth. So I think that the only way to do it is to do it right. You suck for a few years, you stack some draft picks, do it like you said. I know it was a failed experiment, but look at what Philly did. Philly sucked and they got the first overall pick a few years running there. I mean, get a couple of those. Hopefully the draft class cooperates and you rebuild. I mean, I don't mind more years of losing. I just don't want years of mediocrity. Like, give me a product. Don't, give me a direction and give me a product.
Or tell me the truth. Don't have me every game going in and be like, we could win. No, I want to know. Let me start the season off with, we're going to be the worst team in the league. I'm okay with that.
Yeah, exactly. Like, Jerry, don't piss on my back and tell me it's raining, dude.
He definitely probably does that.
I'm just going to see it now. Sal Bass likes when people piss on his back. Where's this going? Gentlemen, it's getting close to dinner time. I'm sure the Bulls fans and Horniacs want to go eat their meals. Any final thoughts before we wrap up?
The Bulls need to do everything they can to not be a crap product. And us as Bulls fans need to stop complaining about the players and complain about Billy Donovan. Everyone needs to complain about the same person instead of casting the blame across the board. If every single person is always saying it's Billy and no one else, they will have to fire him.
Yeah, it's very true. Scotty B, what do you got?
I 100% agree. They need to fire Billy Donovan. They should have fired him years ago. And he doesn't develop young players. Sal's favorite thing, player starts getting hot, let's bench him. He's too good. Get him off the floor.
Yeah.
Yeah. But completely off topic. Apparently Max Strauss was on the Bulls.
Yeah.
And
he was on our summer league team.
Yeah. I think he got injured and then we cut him and then he became a star.
Yeah, okay, sounds about right. Okay.
Yeah,
That's why he goes off on us every time he plays us.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
but
we've had a lot of players in like our summer league that, you know, or just like on our preseason team that go on and become studs. I think Danny Tice was on he was on our main roster too.
Daniel Tice, yeah, he was on our team too. And now look at him. Everybody who's on our team, he leaves.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Fun stuff.
Yeah, fun stuff. Well, on behalf of my co-host here, I'm going to thank Q for joining us. Q, before you leave, tell everybody where they can find you and find him, please, everybody. He has such great content. He's a wealth of knowledge. He puts out a good product, so give him some love. So where can they find you, Q?
You can find me on Let's Talk Bulls, Let's Talk Bulls _ on social media. So if you follow me on Twitter, you can see me rant. And yeah, you can find me there. I make videos as well as I'm also a co-host on Chi-Town Sports Central. We do daily videos pretty much almost daily at this point. That'll be like an NBA, NFL, all sports type of podcast. And hopefully in the future, I'm here more. Yeah. And also go ahead and follow. I'm about 100 and something subscribers away from 500. I'm working on my merch as well, so we will be able to drop some stuff for you guys. If you didn't know, I'm a designer as well, so I do that also. But yeah, check me out.
Yeah, Bulls fans, let's get Q to 500. How did 500, man? What's your secret? Because I'm trying to climb that ladder to 500 too.
Honestly, I truthfully think I got really lucky with Hayes.
Yeah.
So, I don't know if you know this story. I think we talked about it last time. I started with Hayes watching his videos, and one day he was talking about why he started. And I started a podcast a year and a half ago, and he ended up seeing my content, which is crazy in itself. And he was following me, and he shouted me out on his channel. And I got lucky enough to get pretty cool on Bulls Twitter with, Ramina and Melissa and some cool people. And so it's just been making videos, talking, working on getting more consistent. So bear with me on that part.
It's been, you've been consistent. You've been one of the top shows, man. I enjoy you guys.
But yeah, just going at it and doing it as much as possible. And just speaking the truth.
Yeah. Yeah. I know I putting out those daily videos now, man. Like it's a lot of people don't understand how taxing it is that every day putting out a video and you know what I mean? So anytime anytime a content creator, like anybody really puts out daily videos, you tip of the hat to you, because aside being a full-time employee and, some parent, husband, so on and so forth. And you got to take time out of your day to make a video, show, you deserve the love, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
Well, Q, you're always going to be an honorary host on this show. At this point, we're 3.5 men here. It's Sal, Scott, Dan, and Q when he comes in. So always welcome back. We love having you. We hope you enjoyed your time here.
Always, man. I love talking Bulls. You guys have always been fun, and you know the game. It's always fun to talk to Bulls with people who know basketball, right?
Thank you.
And it's fun to see. We all kind of agree similarly on a lot of things as most Bulls fans, and the things we don't agree on, we can talk about. So that's
exactly
what it is. But thank you guys for having me on. I'm always happy to come talk Bulls.
Absolutely. Well, from all of us here at the Horns Over Hoop studio, we thank you guys for tuning into our live. More lives to come. Head over to our merch page. Check out, it's at www.denzelrange.com. Check out our new merch. We have a Christmas sweater in there. It's awesome. I've ordered it. I'm waiting for it to get here. Mugs, bottles, hoodies, shorts, a pink vest. We got it all. Whatever you want, put it in there. If you don't see something you like it, send me a message. I'll put it in there. Follow us on our Twitter. Follow us on TikTok. I'm starting to get the hang of TikTok. I'm getting there. I'm an old buck, but I could still TikTok with the rest of them. So, but from all of us here, we'd like to thank you guys for tuning in. And as always, we'd like you to see red and go Bulls. Good night, everybody.